It is comforting to tell yourself that they are simply intimidated by your success. It is a warm, protective blanket to believe that your intelligence is too heavy a burden for them to carry, or that your financial independence makes average men run in the opposite direction. You return to your beautiful, curated, quiet home. Look at the silence of your phone and repeat the narrative. I am simply too much for them. But what if the narrative is a protective shield? What if the real barrier to the intimacy you crave is not your capability, but the clinical distance you maintain to avoid the terrifying risk of being found human? What if the story of being too intimidating is actually a sophisticated defense mechanism designed to keep you safe, but entirely alone? In the clinical space, we refer to this as a deflective rationalization. It is an incredibly elegant maneuver of human ego. When we face repeated disappointment in our personal lives, or when we find ourselves unable to sustain deep, vulnerable connections, our psyche seeks to protect our self-esteem. To admit that we might be terrified of intimacy, or that our avoidant attachment patterns are actively pushing people away, feels like a failure. And for high-achieving women, failure is an unacceptable state of being. Therefore, the mind reframes the rejection. It takes your greatest professional assets, your intellect, your drive, your financial autonomy, and positions them as the cause of your relational difficulties. It tells you that you are failing at love because you are succeeding at life. But we must look closer at this mechanism. When you tell yourself that others are intimidated by you, you externalize the problem entirely. You place the deficit in them. They are too weak, too insecure, too small to match your stature. This effectively absolves you of any responsibility to look inward. It prevents you from asking the harder, more uncomfortable questions. How am I presenting myself in these interactions? Am I creating a space where another human being can actually connect with me? Or am I presenting a polished, impenetrable facade that offers no entry point? Let us speak honestly about how this looks from the other side of the table. When an emotionally mature, secure partner encounters a high-achieving woman, they are rarely intimidated by her accomplishments. In fact, secure individuals are naturally drawn to competence and intelligence. What they are pushed away by, however, is not your success, but your emotional unavailability. There is a profound difference between being intimidating and being impenetrable. When you enter the dating arena, wearing your achievements like a suit of armor, you communicate a silent message. I do not need you. I cannot be touched, and I will not allow myself to be vulnerable. This impenetrability often manifests as what we call the interview-style date. Because you are accustomed to evaluating performance and managing risk in your professional life, you unconsciously apply the same framework to romance. You ask highly structured questions. You analyze their responses with clinical precision, and you maintain a calculated emotional distance. You do not share your own softness, your hesitations, or your quiet struggles. You present a flawless resume of a life. But a healthy partner is not looking to hire a business partner or a manager. They are looking to connect with a human being. When they feel the coldness of your protective shield, they do not leave because they are intimidated. They leave because they feel a total lack of warmth, curiosity, and emotional safety. Underneath this deflective rationalization lies a deep-seated fear of being found human. In your professional sphere, you have learned that vulnerability is a liability. You have built your life on the premise that control, competence, and flawless execution are the only guarantees of safety and respect. To step into a romantic relationship and show your true unpolished self with all your doubts, all your emotional needs, and your capacity to be hurt feels like stepping onto a battlefield without armor. It feels like an unacceptable risk to your identity. So you use your success as a filter, but it is a filter that has been calibrated incorrectly. You confuse high standards with high walls. High standards are healthy. They ensure that you choose a partner who aligns with your values, respects your autonomy, and matches your emotional maturity. High walls, however, are defensive. They are designed to keep everyone out, regardless of their quality. When you operate behind high walls, you interpret any sign of a partner's hesitation or emotional withdrawal as proof of their intimidation, rather than recognizing it as a natural reaction to your own emotional distance. To break free from this delusion, we must begin by decoupling your professional identity from your relational worth. Your achievements are wonderful milestones, but they are not your capacity for connection. You must ask yourself, am I willing to be known for who I am when the credentials are stripped away? Am I willing to tolerate the discomfort of not being in complete control of the narrative? Dismantling the intimidation delusion requires you to transition from a posture of self-protection to one of relational presence. It means allowing yourself to be seen in your softness, your warmth, and even your hesitation. This transition is not simple, especially when hyper-independence has been your primary survival strategy for decades. It requires a systematic examination of your relational blueprint. If you're ready to look beneath the surface of your professional success and understand the precise psychological mechanisms that are driving your relational patterns, I invite you to take a specialized diagnostic quiz we have developed. It is called the Defensive Success Matrix, the Intimidation Delusion Audit. This is a frictionless 5-question psychometric tool designed specifically for high-achieving women to score their level of relational impenetrability. It will help you discover if you are using your success as a defensive shield, map your exact score tier, and show you how to transform that protective distance into genuine magnetic relational confidence. You can find the link to this audit in the description below. Remember, true strength is not the ability to remain impenetrable. True strength is the capacity to stand in your full power with all your achievements and intelligence and still have the courage to open your heart and say, I am here, I am real, and I am ready to be known. You do not have to choose between your success and your desire for deep, secure love. You simply have to learn how to lay down the armor that was only ever meant to protect you from a war you are no longer fighting. Know yourself. Choose better.